Jackson guitars are made for people with small hands. Well, let's look into that. Jackson was founded in 1980 by American luthier Grover Jackson, whose sole intention was building and manufacturing guitars specifically for individuals with unusually small hands. Oh my gosh, the guy was right! Just joking. Obviously that was fake, and I just doctored it up for fun, but it makes me wonder, is the guy who's saying that, does he have unusually big hands, and so Jackson guitars feel real small to him and he's upset about that? Or is he a guy with small hands, and Jackson guitars happen to just feel perfect for him? I'm not sure. Can you tell us a story about why Harpos in Detroit is the best puke hole metal venue in the world? Harpos, man, lots of memories from that place. Obviously, a lot of you don't know what Harpos is. Of course, some of you do, but I would call it a metal venue, I guess, but bigger one in Detroit, Michigan, and certainly a lot of history there. For Kimera, definitely. We've been going there since, I'd say, 2001. And anything I say here, I mean, no offense to anybody who's maybe from the area, so please don't be offended. But and I haven't been there in 15 years or so, but my memory of it is like just a bad part of town. I think that it's like a venue in the middle of just, like I said, a bad part. And from my memory, there's like a liquor store across the street and a KFC a couple blocks down. And that's all there is in walking distance. I never ventured out far around the place. But, and that's because we were told the first time we were there, don't venture around, go to the bus and to the venue. And the buses were parked right by the backstage door to get in. So that was perfect. And the first time we were there was, I think it was the Road Rage Tour, which was probably 2001 with Fear Factory, Machine Head, and El Nino. And that night, the rumor is somebody came up on Fear Factory's bus and stabbed somebody, some random guy. So it wasn't any of the band members. We obviously would have heard more about that and the show went on, but you better believe after that, we were locking our doors. But always great shows. And that's what's important for bands, like you have to weigh it between having a great show, like packed, awesome, enthusiastic audiences, and comfort for the bands. Places like House of Blues rule because the backstages are awesome and it just makes a better experience for the artist. And hopefully they can put on a better performance for the audience. So, but last thing is, unfortunately, one time we were there early on, Mark, our singer, had a death in the family and he had to roll out. He couldn't make the show. And we were like, what are we going to do? So I don't know if I was appointed or volunteered to be the maitre d'. I never talk into the microphone at shows. And at this particular show, I had to be the guy to be like, hey, thanks for coming out. This next one's called without any lyrics or, singing or whatever. But other bands on the tour, remember, God Forbid, those guys stepped up. They sang a couple songs. They made poster boards with the lyrics, to lay down. But they all had to scramble day of to make that happen. So anyways, it was just a big thing. But one of those shows that happens 1 in a million, you can never reproduce it, anything like that. So a lot of great memories from Harpos. Remember the days when Rob was being teased for not having long hair, like a true metalhead? Ooh, how the times have changed. Indeed, if you know from our 2004 Dehumanizing Process documentary, there's a scene where Jim's driving in his car and he's saying that Rob just can't hit those solo notes because he's got short hair now, Or maybe my hair wasn't long enough at that time because I was growing it out for the Impossibility of Reason. I started the band with short hair. I grew it out during the Impossibility of Reason. But I really only had longer hair for 2003, maybe 2004. And then I cut it off again. And I'd say most people remember me as a short hair guy. And recently I decided, hey, this may be my last go around. I'm going to try to get it going again here. And, Jim was right back then because now I think the notes sound better. You guys tell? I don't know. I feel this just so much more confident just hitting those huge solo notes with this long flowing hair, going around.
We made it! God damn it all! Incarceration, we are Kimera from Cleveland, motherfucking Ohio.
The older the bull, the stiffer the horn. I absolutely love that. I'm going to use that. What a great quote. A lot of controversy about this one, the China cymbal. Man, who would have thought? But I have some things to say about this. So anyways, for anybody who doesn't know, a China cymbal, it's that big one off to the right that you saw there. It's got a trashier sound. You think of it more for like accents and big parts, stuff like that. I love the sound of a China, and a lot of mixed reviews. I can't believe how many comments on this thing, just on people commenting on a particular cymbal, but lots of love for it. Oh, it sounds great. Love Zildjians, love that particular ride and everything. And then a ton of hate, like this guy. Oh, well played. However, the China sounds terrible. Other people sounds terrible, stuff like that. So like I said, a lot of controversy about it. But what I want to remind people is that what we're looking at here is a drum cam video. The camera is literally set up right up here, like closest to the China. There's no other drums, that are closer. And people are like, oh, the China's so much louder than the snare and stuff like that. It's only because the camera's right here and that's what it's picking up, the closest signal to it. Cymbals have a, whatever they call it, SPL or something. The highest SPL you ever hear just one like microphone in the room with a drum kit. All you hear is cymbals. So that's just it. I guarantee out front that the drum mix sounded fantastic and all the cymbals sounded at equal volumes. And I guarantee the kick and snare were way louder than the cymbals out front because those are the things we pump. So anyways, it's just funny to me. Tons of great comments from these videos of these live drum cam stuff from the Kimera Incarceration Festival. But like the things that people get into, just about one particular cymbal amazes me. But hey, keep them coming. Staying on the drum cam video tip here, is Austin not wearing IEs, which are in-ears. I'll get to that in a sec. For my phone, it doesn't look like it, which is wild if that's the case. So in-ears are in-ear monitors. It's like little headphones you're sent, and you hear whatever you want to hear in your mix right in your ears, rather than using monitors, which are speakers on the ground pointed at the band where we typically hear ourselves. So anyways, I chose to address this one because you say it's wild that he's not wearing them. I think it's wild that people would think that it's wild that he's not wearing them, because when we came up, in-ears weren't a thing. It's only like really a newer thing. They probably existed, and of course, bigger bands had access to them first. Britney Spears has been using them forever, but I guarantee guys like Michael Jackson or the Rolling Stones back in the day, that's just old school style. You just use the monitors and you feel everything. So there's a lot of, I have mixed emotions about in-ears. I've personally never used them. I feel like I want to feel the monitors. I want to feel that air moving and stuff. And also, in my recap of the Ink Festival, I'm talking to Doc, and a portion I didn't include before that, Doc's putting in his in-ears, and he's talking about how one thing about him is that you hear all your mistakes really well. So, I think it's good to hear your mistakes live. I want to be able to hear myself, and if I make mistakes, so I can correct it and all that. But at the same time, I don't want to hear too many mistakes. I don't want to hear too much. I want to hear as much as I can of the band and just feel the whole thing. So anyways, I love this. We were playing no click, no in-ears. I don't think any of the other guys were on in-ears. There's a possibility Mark and Chris did. They did for a few years back in the day, but I feel like they would put them in to try them and then just take them out because it wasn't comfortable. So it's definitely something you got to get used to. And if you don't have a dedicated monitor engineer mixing your in-ear signal all the time, or like a setup that you've pre-mixed, a little sidecar thing, then it can not be beneficial, I guess. So anyways, I love this. I think that, Kimera never played with a click track and barely ever used ears. Like I said, I never did. Matt never did. I don't know if Jim ever did. Mark and Chris did a little bit. Maybe the drummers would sometimes. I don't know. They'd try it. But we never played to a click or used ears and stuff up until our 2017 reunion and then those last two 2023 shows here in Cleveland. And this time going into it just like this, just kind of raw dogging it, feeling everything, I felt the power like I hadn't felt since way back in the day, and I think the performance was much stronger, and I honestly attribute it to this. So, and then one more thing about this, a guy goes on to say, old school way with no in-ears. So he's talking about that again, but then I'm also seeing no earplugs. I'd be deaf after a gig like that. Great drumming, by the way. So, yeah, Austin's just rolling it hard. No earplugs. That is hard. Maybe stupid, but hard. ESP is quality, but I've never seen anyone play one. Maybe some endorsed stars, but to make money, they would have to sell to the masses. In 30 years of local jamming, gigging, and recording, I've never even heard anyone mention them. That's crazy to me. I understand it's a matter of perspective, so no disrespect whatsoever, but growing up, I had pictures of Kirk and James on my wall playing ESPs. And I didn't even really know what ESPs were. I'd never played one, but I knew I wanted to one day. And when that happened, fuck, you know? But Kimera came up in, let's say, across 4 different like metal subgenres, starting with nu metal, into the new wave of American heavy metal, into metalcore, and then deathcore. Our career was spread out over all of those awakenings of those metal genres, and I feel like everybody was playing ESP, LTD at those times. They were just giving them to bands, you know, which is cool. I think that's awesome. And I didn't think anything like bad about that. I just noticed like, wow, everybody's playing these. Great. I certainly was. Kimera definitely was. But then, you know, I go to that. I did a video a couple months ago about going to the Ohio guitar show here, and there were no ESPs. Like one, literally. You know, a couple guys in the comments said they saw a couple more or whatever. But seriously, I mean, they were the minority. Not even a minority. They didn't even make it on the list. You know, Gibsons and Fenders and stuff like that. So I guess I totally understand that it's a matter of perspective, but it's crazy to me, you know, to hear somebody say that they never see ESPs around. I guess it's eye-opening in a sense, because to me, in my world and what I do, they're one of the biggest players, without a doubt. So, yeah, ESP, Jackson, they got to be the biggest players in the metal world, I'd say. I know there'll be a lot of comments about that. Of course, you know, Dean, maybe. No, Dean isn't even big. Whatever. You know when they say never meet your heroes? Well, this is one of those moments. What the fuck? Wow, I gotta say what the fuck too, because this video for me was unique. The Ultimate Gangster Rap albums, where I went through my top 5 like hip hop records. This is a video I never would have thought of making, and it's unique in a special ways. One, it's the only one I've ever taken down. It's currently back up again, but I'm not saying that and encourage you to watch it. Don't. But I put that up because I'd kind of fallen into this thing a little bit where I started making videos like, you know, like whatever, my top 5 metal records, my top 10 guitarists, my favorite, you know, solos, breakdowns, stuff like that or whatever. I just kind of got in this thing and people started feeding me ideas of stuff to do. And one of those, the big ideas was, what are your top non-metal records? Like, what do I listen to besides metal? And as I started formulating that, I realized, those type of things are all hard rock, maybe too close to metal. So why don't I just go with like to the other end of the spectrum and talk about the hip hop stuff that I loved growing up. 99% of metalheads out there have hip hop records that they love. But you know, so I listed them off and talked about what I liked about them and all that, and made metal references to them, and you know how certain things inspired metal and Kimera and all that. And we're all hip hop fans. But can you believe this guy to say something like, you know, when they say never meet your heroes, this is one of those comments. What the fuck? This video offended this guy so much, and lots of other people, because the reason I took the video down is because there were so many hateful comments, so many people, you know, totally derogatory and racist comments about rap, you know, ruining America, and way worse than that. Shit, I couldn't fucking believe that people were saying in this. And you gotta have thick skin in this YouTube game, you know, with all these comments and stuff, which I don't. I see a comment like this and honestly, I'm like, oh, you know, but what can I do? So, and then on top of that, it's my first video I lost subscribers on. When I go into analytics, you know, and you see videos, a lot of the time, you know, this video, whatever, gained you 100 subscribers, this one 300, this one 50, blah, 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 blah. And you know, as a creator, you can kind of gauge like, okay, these videos are doing well. They're attracting a new audience. I want to try to make more of those, stuff like that. But this video, I lost subscribers on. It's the only one in my entire 500 videos or whatever I got where there's a negative number. So I'm like, I'm just getting rid of this thing. I'm pulling it down, and I let some time pass. And like I said, I put it back up. But this guy's comment was just crazy, and there's many like it. Fortunately, this guy here commented on that guy's comment and came to my rescue saying, you know, when he's talking about never meet your heroes, that's usually referring to a person being a dismissive creep, not having different interests than their fans. Exactly. Thank you, Nickhead, however you say that. Thank you. Exactly. What? I'm not allowed to like a couple hip hop records? Like all of a sudden you don't like my music because of that? I just don't get that, man. Finally here, a cool one. I'm sitting here, a guy in his 40s, having a beer and feeling nostalgic. I love this shit. Been following you guys for so long. It's weird when you have social anxiety and you feel like you know someone you've never met. Well, first of all, cheers. I can't speak about your social anxiety, but I feel you on, when you watch somebody enough or, get to know them, you feel like you know them and you've never met them. I'm the same way. I watch YouTube videos too, all the time. I'd say the majority of the stuff I watch, well, not the majority, it's a big mix. I watch a lot of music and gear stuff, of course. I watch a lot of cooking stuff, and a big portion of the stuff I watch is actually fitness stuff. I love Rob Lipsett, Moran, Big Daddy Mike Thurston, How to Beast. I just love listening to those guys because they're inspirational, just for diet and nutrition, but also I look at their video editing and I try to incorporate that stuff because they're just on another level. They're doing really cool stuff all the time, going to great places, getting great content stuff. And, I respect that. And I've watched so many of their videos now that, I feel like I know those guys. I feel like if I just saw them somewhere, I could bro down because I just know about their entire lives. And that's what kind of happens, I think, here on YouTube, where you put your life out there, and whether those guys wanted to or not, I feel that because I'm kind of, just a in my world kind of guy. I've never really wanted the spotlight, even on stage. I've said this before, I'd rather be a drummer, just hide in the back. I love playing music. I want to do it live and for people all the time, whatever. But being up front and being a Kiss rock star guy, that's just not me. It's just part of the job, So this YouTube thing is kind of the same thing, where I'm kind of putting my life out there, even though I still keep it discreet. At the same time, I'm putting way more of myself out here than I just normally would or ever thought I would. But I've also been told through the inspiration I've received from other YouTube videos that that's how you connect with the audience. And I've seen the feedback on that people like realism, authenticity, honesty, stuff like that. So I'm trying. And again, with this comment, I feel you, brother, because I feel the same way about YouTube videos I watch. So anyways, that's gonna do it. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Make sure if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. It's important. And the thumbs up button there, the likes, you know how that works. The more they get, the more YouTube's gonna suggest this video to other people, and just wanna get that word out there, help spread this metal message that I'm trying to preach every single day. So thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate you, and hope to see you again on the next one. Let me know if you like this and I'll do more of them. Cheers.